Our job as parents is to embarrass the hell out of her. Happen. Staying warm. Their outdoor wood boiler. Wow. Would you believe this is the 21st year that this experimental boiler has been running? Basically, wow. So this thing, built this back in 2004. It's 2,000 pounds of 1/4-inch steel, all welded together. It's a 3-foot by 3-foot by 3-foot box inside a 4-foot by 4-foot by 4-foot square box. Around that we circulate water, and then we pump that through the house through radiant floor heating. So all we have to do, run a simple little fire in here and circulate it through the house. Keeps it nice and warm all winter long for 9 months of the year or so. It's October now, and it's time to fire that thing up and get it going. Again, for the 21st year. Hard to believe 6 years ago I made a video about this, and it really was a hit. A lot of people love this thing, and it's kind of neat. You look at this tree back then, it was more of a twig. Now I could climb this thing, and it's still here with this boiler burning right next to it. It's going away. It's kind of neat. I do have a funny story about something that happened over the winter with this thing. Let me take you over here and show you a little bit of it. I run this without power. It's just a natural draft, and I can adjust the airflow through that little vent there, if you will. The door, I put a 2-foot by 2-foot door on this because I wanted to be able to put big chunks of whatever into it, and that has been awesome. Absolutely awesome. There's insulation in between the door. It's 2 inches thick, so it does save some of the heat, keep it inside. Let's see, what else do we have here? There's the firebox, and you can see this thing is still full from last winter. I haven't cleaned it, and it's basically a whole winter's worth of ashes in there, which is quite impressive when you really think about it. I have to scrape the creosote off the walls, and yes, this is a chunk of pine. I can burn anything I really want to burn in this thing. You don't have to worry about the wood. Yes, you can see some of the buildup. You have to pay attention to that when you're burning pine. You will get more creosote built up than normal, but it's easy enough to manage. So this simple boiler, you just start a fire in it and get it going. I'll show you that in a minute. Oh, I got a little bird's nest living here. I always intended to cover this with metal, just like this and that. However, after this front got totally blackened from smoke coming up through it, I figured it's going to look horrific if it's white metal with burnt stuff up it anyways. Again, for 21 years of not having to pay for heat, this thing has been priceless. And yes, we burn quite a bit of wood. You can see quite a bit of pine this year that I have laying around. Scraps off the sawmill, whatever. I have a couple ash trees right there that fell. Pull those over here and get those ready as well. Let's see, what's next? Let me get a fire going in this thing and show you how nice and sweet and easy it is. So it's pretty simple to start a little fire in here. I just throw some cardboard in there, a couple sticks, twigs, and pieces of wood over top of it. And the key is to get yourself one of these torches. The torch makes it nice and easy. Get in there, light up a couple things instead of wasting your time trying to light a fire. Once you get it going just a little bit, it's pretty much all you'll need. A couple bits. Go ahead and close the door in the natural draft. Drawing through here, we'll get the fire going. And that's about all I'll have to do for, maybe 5 minutes or so. Just sit back and wait. These things are priceless, so easy. Instead of trying to build a nice little fire and with sticks and twigs and a lighter, you're wasting your time. See, I got just a little puff of smoke starting to come out of there. Probably can't really see much of it yet. Neat little contraption. And like I said, this thing was supposed to be just an experiment to see, hey, can I save some money on propane? You know, I was young back then. That's 21 years ago. Heck, I barely had the skills to build this thing. I can't believe I actually had the skills to build this. And it's kind of, boy, it's been a surprise all around how this thing's worked. The pipe that we put in the ground, that's not your normal pipe either. That was 4-inch PVC pipe, and then I ran 2 layers of 1-inch copper and 2 lines of 3/4-inch copper underground inside that, and then spray foamed the whole thing. Basically built my own run of tubes, and it's worked this whole time. Thank God. I was always kind of nervous about that, but it's been solid, and God, it would be astronomically expensive to try to build that today. I can't believe we were able to, it didn't cost that much back then. It was cheaper than doing it any other way. Whatever they call that stuff they have today with the PEX inside the tube. But it was cheaper than that back then to do it all out of copper and make it yourself. So if you can believe that one. Today, forget it. Let's see, those 2 3/4 inch lines that I have in there, they run my domestic hot water. Now what I did, I have them coming in through here somewhere, and then one here and one there, and there's a coil inside the boiler that we keep separate that runs the domestic water through it. So when the boiler gets nice and hot, 100 and some odd degrees in there, 120, 130, it's heating up that water that's going into the water heater in the house and preheating it, I guess you could say. So it saves quite a bit on energy, propane or electricity, whichever one we're running for making hot water for the house. So in the wintertime, it gives you nice long hot showers when you really want it. You can see, got a nice little fire puffing along. And we haven't touched it yet. I've just been chatting away here. And we open it up and she's going. That's, I mean, come on. Piece of cake. So now what I'll do is I'll throw some more. So you can see the smoke coming up. If this thing was all white in the front, that would be all smoky. So I leave that go. And yeah, I have my fancy little light so I can see what I'm doing in the winter time, because it gets dark early. Interesting issues. I have had this thing crack over the years, right through here. Another little one here. And there's a section about this high above that before it gets to another layer where the ceiling is. I don't know if you'll be able to see it now with the smoke. Nah, you can't see it. Kinda. So this is still just in the firebox, this crack itself. It's not affecting anything. My guess is this thing has moved over the years. It's a big, thick 8-inch slab of concrete we poured down there so it wouldn't move. That's it. And those cracks, I've welded them up a couple times. You can see they've already been welded through the years. That's the only problem I had, and it didn't leak. It just popped those cracks. Go figure. Other than that, the only thing, you burn a lot of wood. That's it. You're gonna burn a ton of wood. But I don't know, I like burning wood. It cleans the property up, it gets it out of here. I have quite a bit of use for it. So I can't complain, especially with the sawmill. To get rid of the scraps from the sawmill without having to just waste them, you can heat. So this will all go into the house and it'll warm up the garage and add a little heat for this chilly morning. Figured I'd make this video. I know if you have any questions, please comment below. I have quite a few people asked me about the last time when I built the boiler and what I did. I'm trying to remember anything specific that you guys liked about it. Short from, it's possible that you could build it yourself and do all this. Now this, again, it was 2,000 pounds worth of steel, so you have to figure how much does 2,000 pounds of 1/4 inch steel cost today, and then how well can you move it and pick it up and utilize it and move it, and can you weld it all? It's a heck of a lot of welding. But sure beats paying the sticker price of what one of these things cost. Gotta love it. So I will say one of the coolest updates that I have made to this boiler is if I click on my phone here, I can go into this and I have my house Wi-Fi water heater, and that's a switch to turn the water heater on and off. So I have an electric 220 water heater hooked to this system, so I can turn it on and off with that, and I don't run antifreeze in the system, so that there will keep the whole thing from freezing. Yes, it does waste a little bit of energy to do that, but for how often it happens, it's really slim. Usually the boiler's always running, making electricity. So then I have this two-way temperature and humidity switch, which is really cool because this is telling me right now it's 54 degrees in the garage, which is pretty cold. Then I have this switch here. If I just push this, boom, that turns that on. Now my circulator pump is turned on, so I'm now circulating water from this boiler through the house. Now I come down here to switch 2. If I turn that on, that turns on our propane water heater, which is plumbed into this. So originally that's what I was running on, was propane, and good Lord, was that prohibitively expensive around here. So I left that propane system and then plumbed this into it, so that's my main backup. If I go on vacation, I run propane. If the power goes out, or we can, whatever, if propane's cheap or I need a little extra heat because it's really, really cold, or this goes out, I can fire up the propane system and make heat quick. Again, we also have an electric water heater that's tied to, so I don't have to deal with getting a propane truck down here in the wintertime when there's a problem. This driveway can be tough. So that keeps the house going if I need it with the electric, and well, it keeps it easy. So all 3 of those are hooked to this system, and I can control them all from my phone, which has made this so much easier because I'm not even here some of the times when I'm running this. It's really pretty cool. So just with the simple push of a switch, boom, that's off. So if you like those little details, check out the link and you can get some access to where you can get those and which switches we're using. Also using a Nest thermometer. So thermostat, sorry, using a Nest thermostat. And that thing has been really cool. If I click on this one here for the living room, it's off, and all I have to do, select heat, boom, that'll turn that on. It's 67 up there right now. That clicks on, and now the circulator pump that runs the radiant floor heat is running in the house. So with both those circulators on, pulling the heat from the boiler, all controlled from the phone. Pretty nifty little awesome thing. And again, if I just want to shut it off, it's a piece of cake. Actually, while I have it on, I can adjust the temperature, just whatever I need there. And if we want to turn it off, boom, that shuts it off. How easy is that? Technology. Try to adapt it any way you can, especially, I mean, when I built this boiler, I had no idea I was going to be running it from miles and miles away. It's really, short of throwing wood in it, really cool, which is great because I can load this thing up and I can watch the temperature and say, oh, the house is cooling off. Okay, let me shut off these pumps from outside and just keep the heat that's in there, or vice versa. Really, really cool feature to have that. However, back here, check this part out. This is funny. So, all right, I come around here and I'm like, what the heck happened here? Normally this insulation, there's another piece down here, is all in here, and if it blew out or whatever, fine. But when you really start to look at what's going on here, you see there's a metal stud on the ground there. The 55-gallon drum that was propped up here is knocked over, and that metal stud is bent. So something big enough was living inside here. Yeah, it's a good little spot there, I'm gonna guess. Oh, that's a heck of a lot of bees. Wow. Wow, that's a whole lot. I wonder why. There's a couple live ones over there, but they're all... That's weird. Look, that's kind of weird. They better get out of there now. They're getting kind of starting to stir. A couple of them. Huh. Anyway, something big came flying out of here and bent the stud and knocked all this out. So probably a raccoon, or I can't imagine a bear was tucked into there. Possum, but they're moving. I don't know, something came flying out of the back of it. So I have to attend to that. Probably about time I changed a little bit of that insulation anyway. The chimney, I run an 8-inch wide chimney, and it's got a big insulated wall around it. That's probably a foot wide overall. That came out of a townhouse. I lucked out pulling that out. The rest of this thing, it's just a simple box coming out the back for the smoke. Cuts through, you clean this out because it fills with creosote every once in a while. Not too bad of a deal. So if you've learned anything at all, like, subscribe, check out all our other videos. We have tons of stuff on this boiler and all kinds of other really cool things that we build. So stick around. Thank you.